Hey guys. Alright, so late night rant because sleeping is not something I've been able to do much of in the wake of everything going on. I've just got a lot swirling around in the old, freshly bald, don't ask, noggin. And I just need a place to let loose. I'm not feeling okay right now. And I know a lot of us aren't. I've had more than a few anxiety attacks in the last few days, coupled with nightmares, lack of sleep, depressive episodes, and just generally feeling mentally awful day in and day out since this all kind of started. I can feel myself burning out already. And this is only a few days into whatever you want to call the hellish existence we're living in right now. And before you start writing comments that I know you're going to write about this, believe me, I've been trying to keep things like watching the news to a complete minimum. Just as I've been trying to naturally limit my interactions with the virus itself, I've been trying to limit my interactions with the media surrounding the virus as well. But, well, we live in an information-based society, so that's next to impossible. If it's not the news, it's social media. If it's not social media, it's YouTube. I can't get away from it, and it's affecting me more and more every day. The thing is, though, I know I'm not alone in feeling like this. I know, and I've talked to others who are already feeling the same burnout that I am, or who are very close. And I can't speak for those people, but I'm willing to bet at least a couple would agree with me on what I'm about to say next. The most important thing, aside from physical health in this crisis, is mental health. We're all isolated. We're all social distancing. I hate that term. But we're all necessarily antisocial. And humans are inherently social creatures. And while we're all responsible for our own mental health to a point, in situations like this, we need to step up and consider the mental health of others. To that end, I've got what's probably a pretty big ask for all of you out there who follow me on social media. Please, for my sake, and for the sake of others who already struggle with pre-existing chronic mental health issues like depression and anxiety, please dial back, or if possible, stop posting about the pandemic. I don't care if it's a meme or an informational post or even something reassuring. It's not. It doesn't help, and I'll explain why. So, in the realms of disability and mental health and chronic illnesses, you'll often encounter the concept of spoon theory. Without going too far into the weeds, spoon theory is a metaphor to illustrate what living with mental health issues, disabilities, or chronic illnesses can feel like on a day-to-day basis. I'll put a link in the description to a Wikipedia article that explains it a little better, but I'm going to try and employ spoon theory here as a demonstrative tool. So imagine for a second that in front of you are a set of spoons. Why spoons? Why not spoons? Would you rather forks? Okay, use forks. I don't care. Just don't use sporks because they follow an entirely different set of rules. Anyways, in front of you are a bunch of spoons. How many? It doesn't matter. I mean, it definitely matters to you, but we'll get into that in a second. So these spoons represent how much energy you have. Not necessarily physical energy, but mental energy. As in, once these spoons are gone or depleted, you're going to need to rest because you feel mentally fatigued. How fatigued? Well, that depends on you and how many spoons you have. How much rest? Again, that depends entirely on you. And now imagine every time you read online about something related to the pandemic, a completely arbitrary number of spoons are removed or depleted. To make matters worse, you aren't entirely sure how many spoons you have left and what more, aren't entirely certain how long of a rest you'll need to fully replenish your spoon supply. This is what dealing with the pandemic feels like for me, and I'm certain for a lot of others like me who deal with the same sort of issues, depression, anxiety, and what have you. It sucks. It really sucks. And I know it's hard not to talk about the pandemic. It's a huge issue, and there's scary times we live in, and we want to talk about it. But please, if not for my sake, then for your own. Because we don't know how long the situation is going to last. And we all need to look out for each other's mental health right now. So instead of constantly posting about the pandemic itself, post about the things you're doing. Post about the TV shows that you're binge watching or catching up on, because we're all doing plenty of that right now. Or post about the hobbies that you now have time for, or post pictures and videos of your cats and dogs and rabbits and snakes and lemurs. Although definitely don't post about lemurs because they're wild animals and make terrible pets. But do so also without including the context of the pandemic. Show yourself the positives in everything that's going on. Getting to spend more time with your kids or with your partners, all that good stuff. Yes, we do need to have discussions about the pandemic, but they don't need to be every discussion, every post, everything you share. It's too much. There are always more positive things you could be sharing and talking about online. So let's try and do that instead. I will if you will.